rocking with the hottest shit. You can't get anywhere else. On my hip hop ish.
What's going on, world? This is Jess King with On My Hip Hop Ish, and we're here right now with Linz Prag, and he's going to tell you all about the EDM world, how he became a producer, how he became a DJ, and all about his artistry. You should stay tuned right here on My Hip Hop Ish.
It's your boy Linz Prag. I'm a producer, DJ based out of Atlanta, and I'm on My Hip Hop Ish.
All right, take me back to the beginning, man. Where did it start for you?
Started in a little small town in Virginia, Charlottesville, Virginia. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, a lot of blues and rock came out that time, you know what I'm saying? Dave Matthews Band. And basically, you know, I was in the 7th grade and I wanted to pick up an instrument, so I just picked up guitar. You know, my grandfather, he surprised me with an acoustic guitar, right-handed of course, so I received that as a gift on Christmas, and I naturally played it like this, which is left-handed. So, using my knowledge, I inverted the strings, converting the guitar into a left-handed guitar, in the likes of Jimi Hendrix, because that's what he did. Actually, he played his strings upside down.
Get out of here.
From EADGBE, you know, from the highest gauge to the lowest gauge.
Yeah.
So, yeah, basically, you know, I kind of, you know, being a young black kid, you know, just trying to learn guitar. I couldn't afford lessons at the time, you know, so I had to go to the pawn shop and buy tablature books. You know, I bought a Jimi Hendrix tablature book, and I bought a Blink-182 tablature book. And I learned songs in my room after school and just, you know, taught myself how to play guitar, you know, on my own. And then I just listened to music and I would mimic the notes and learn the notes on my own. And I taught myself that. And segueing from that, in my high school years and then getting out of high school, I was in between different bands. In high school, 10th grade year, I won Battle of the Bands. You know, and
what school you went to?
Charlottesville High School.
Charlottesville High School,
yeah.
all right, got you.
CHS. Shout out to CHS, by the way. But basically, yeah, you know, I just, you know, was in high school, you know, just going hard with the live music, you know, and that's really what inspired me to, like, you know, jump into the more DJ live set. But we're gonna get into that in a second.
Yeah, absolutely.
But basically, you know, I just, you know, enjoy, you know, crowd reaction. I enjoy, you know, being around people and seeing their reaction to music. You know, just like if I play some dope beats in the studio and all of the, like, people are like, whoa, that's crazy, man. Where do you come up with this? You know, I just love the reaction.
Gotcha.
You know, that means more to me than a lot of other things. You know, I love seeing people's energy in the room. But basically, you know, I mean, to sum it up with that, in the beginning of everything, you know, I played in the rock band for 7 years. I was a lead guitarist and a vocalist in the rock band. It was a 3-piece suit. You know, we went about 3 deep, and then we segued our name into From a Distance, FAD. And I think our old MySpace page still up, but that's MySpace.
Right. Right. What was the motivation on picking up the guitar? Like you don't really, you hear like the stories from most people picking up guitar. Like I heard Lil Wayne picked up the guitar, but what was your motivation? Say, I'm gonna pick up this guitar and learn this from.
Honestly, you know, way back when there was TRL, Total Request Live. You know,
Gotcha.
Carson Daly, MTV scene.
Yep.
When it was actually good. There was a band, you know, all-time dope band that I'll always rock with, Korn, at the time.
Korn.
You know, that group, they just really inspired me. And, you know, their whole projects, you know, I had them all, man. And I just, you know, enjoyed them thoroughly. I loved them, like, headbanging and just going crazy. You know, so, like, I was actually in my room before I had the guitar, just, you know, playing on the drumstick. playing on the broomstick. You know, jumping down on the bed.
So you always knew music was gonna be your life.
Exactly, I did. Damn. You know, and I mean, my mom used to come home. She'd be like, "Turn that mess down," you know, because at the time, you know, we were all living at my grandparents' house because we had relocated from New Jersey, North New Jersey.
Gotcha.
And my mom moved me away from there because, you know, crime rate and, you know, just bad times up there.
Right.
So she moved me down to Virginia, and you know, like just being in the southern area and just, you know, small town, everyone knows
Charlottesville, Virginia.
Yeah.
Yeah. How close is that to where Trey Songz and Chris Brown from? Where are they from?
Trey Songz, I believe, is from the Richmond area.
Richmond area? Okay.
Yeah, and that's about 45 minutes to an hour.
Gotcha.
Chris Brown is from Tappahannock or Rappahannock area. That's near Virginia Beach, so that's probably about 2.5, 3 hours.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, you know, the old Virginia Beach area.
You got some history coming out of Virginia, man. You got what you got?
Timberland,
Clips, like,
you know,
Pharrell,
Missy, Pharrell, of course, you know,
like,
all-time favorite.
Was any of those names you just mentioned like influential to you?
Yeah, Timberland is my favorite producer, aside from Kanye West. You know, I mean, it's just the percussion and the progression of his records. You know, ever since working on Aaliyah's albums to like working on Justin Timberlake's album and segueing from futuristic to, you know, what may have organic, just like Pharrell. You know, people may knock him for making Happy and calling it cheesy or whatnot, but that song is ingenious.
What?
It's a very, you know, energetic song, and it's worldwide. People, they don't really understand the essence of it. You know, okay, of course he says happy in the song, and he's, you know, elaborating why he's trying to spread happiness.
Right.
Not because of money, not because of, you know, success, just on good faith. You know, and people, they misinterpret the messages a lot. You know, so I mean, I respect it. You know, and I mean, also Pharrell was on his rock star stuff a lot too.
Oh yeah, with the nerd.
You know, NERD. They had, you know, him and Chad. They had a lot of just, you know, madness and creativity, and they made all their live sounds just like Timberland. Take some stuff and knock it in front of them like a spoon and can and just knock it. You know,
it's something. It's something in the water up there in Virginia, man. Y'all got it, man. Word.
I mean, hey, it's a lot, you know, it's a lot of, you know, talent in Virginia, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, talent's everywhere, but you know, I mean, it's just something about Virginia. Dave Matthews Band, man, I mean, you know, coming out of the same hometown as I'm from, and honestly, Charlottesville isn't really bred on hip-hop like that and stuff, but they do enjoy, you know, rock, blues, jazz, and of course, you know, up-tempo music like reggae, you know, pop, you know, contemporary music. You know, they sort of shy away from hip-hop, which is a bit sad. But at the same time, the events that they have a history of throwing events, and I mean, it happens everywhere, but Charlottesville is like a Thomas Jefferson town. Because Thomas Jefferson and, you know, like the whole Ashlon scene, you know, just having like Monticello, you know, all of that stuff there. So it's really bred on history there.
Gotcha.
You know, and it's Virginia, you know, like all that.
Right.
But I mean, I'm not saying like, you know, there won't be a progression or an infusion of it. You know, I never lose hope in that.
Right.
You know, that's my hometown. I'm always going to support it, and you know, any way in the future that I can help, I will.
Gotcha. What made you jump into the EDM lane?
Well, EDM is just the base, it's just the cover-up name for all of the genres. Electronic dance music. A lot of people don't understand exactly what is behind it. All they know, to the natural mind and to the generic mind, is EDM. Some people don't even know it stands for electronic dance music.
Right.
But the fact that you have all of these subgenres like Dutch house, deep house, you know, minimal house, tech house, dubstep, trap style, like hard style, Q dance, you know, like Frenchcore, hardcore, you know, I could go on and on for days. There's so many genres. You know, Moombahton, like you have like all of these crazy genres. People even make up their genres sometimes. I mean, you know, and like, honestly, what really bred me into EDM is really like, my whole thing is, I make, you know, hybrid music. I take anything and everything that I can, and I soak it in, and then I create and transform that into my own sound that's adaptive. You know, it can adapt to different environments. So one part might start out as like trap, and then another part might end out in hard style, you know, and like, you know, it just really varies. You know, it can have trap and dubstep mixed in it. You know, it just varies so much. And you know, what brought me into that was really, you know, just, you know, doing research and just learning and going to shows and stuff, and you know, seeing these different acts. You know, I've seen, you know, like Basement Jacks. You know, I've seen them. I've seen, you know, there's so many guys, man. Like Flosstradamus. I've seen a lot of them. Like I've seen Bauer when he came on the scene with that Harlem Shake song, and a lot of people in New York was like offended because it was like, you know, Harlem Shake started with Diddy and the shaking of the shoulders dance and that swagged out.
And the new Harlem Shake is just totally different.
Yeah, but making that song, it was kind of, in New York, it was a bit of offense to them. Right. But they weren't like, Bauer wasn't in any way trying to disrespect nobody. He just made a dope record and called it Do Them Harlem Shake. You know, and the track was dope. Just like, you know, Flosstradamus came on the scene with Original Don. And it had just a repeat sample in it, and it was just like da 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 da. Like it was just really dope, and the people didn't know what it was. At first, I didn't even know what it was. I was, you know, in the college. I lived in the college scene in Charlottesville, and I was like, whoa, this is really hot, you know. And people were like, yo, this is trap. You know, this is trap step. They call it trap step.
Trap step.
You know, and then, you know, I was just like, yo, this is really tight. You know, I definitely rock with this.
I bet. Yeah. All right, so give me that story. How you jumped in into that DJ game, man? Bring that. Tell me that story.
Basically, you know, I got into DJing. Basically, I met the homies Charlie and Pete, and basically they had a little apartment, you know, in Charlottesville, Virginia. You know, and they had like vinyl set up. So I didn't really know what that was. I mean, I knew what vinyl was and stuff like that, but like they had a mixer and stuff. I knew of those things, but I didn't really know what DJing like music like that was. So they were like, "Hey man, you want to pick up DJing?" And at the time they were using a program called Tractor. So I was like, "Okay, if it's gonna help me in the future." So, you know, they showed me. They were like, "Okay, importance about DJing is finding the right tempos and beat matching. That's like the essence." And I don't just use this. I mean, this is like the latest model, which is like a DDJ SZ. Similar to CDJs, but
it's all together.
Yeah, but you know, I use CDJs now, you know, because that's like the industry standard.
Right.
Is to use CDJs and stuff like that, and to like beat match, you know, and do it and not use the sync button. I mean, but if you start and you're a beginner, it's okay to use the sync button, but you know, eventually you need to learn how to beat match, you know, by ear. And it's learned, you know, tempo changes and everything like that.
That's BPMs and all that.
Yeah, beats per minute, yeah. Which is
yep.
very vital. And you know, moving down here and stuff, you know, I purchased a controller, and you know, I met a lady who actually, you know, she was one of the ladies that actually introduced me to the EDM scene, like talking about. And you know, her name's Kitty. You know, shout out to Kitty. She helped me get into EDM events, and she actually, you know, was like, "Yo, y'all need to mess with this kid, Linz Prag. He produced some original sets. He turning up in the club, and nobody in Atlanta really know him." So she got me into some stuff, and then, you know, she helped me, you know, get recognized, and this, you know, come up. So I have her to thank for that, you know. And there's like a lot of people down here, you know, who's helped me along the way, just, you know, been like, "Yo, like." Not even just DJing, just on like, you know, the production side alone, you know, because showing them that not only do I DJ, but I produce my own music, and playing sets live in EDM music is very vital. You know, it's very important. It's like, okay, so you're a DJ. All right, do you play other people's music, or do you produce your own music?
Right. So give me that story. Tell me about the crowd, how the crowd reacts to this type of music, and yeah, tell me, just answer that question. Okay. Do you play your own music, or are you playing everybody else's music?
I play a Linz Prag set.
Gotcha.
And if I'm playing somebody else's song, I'm doing a remix of their song with my own twist.
That's dope.
You know, so like, in reality, I'm not playing anyone else's music but mine.
So everything's like original. It's like you playing records, but it's original.
Yeah.
Damn, I just got a whole new respect for EDM.
Man. You know, doing remixes is very important because not only you showing that artist love, but you're throwing your own twist in and be like, okay, if I had the idea of doing a remix of this is what I would have done.
That's dope.
So you know what I'm saying? This is what I would have done on it.
How does the crowd react when you play?
The crowd's always gonna be hype. You know, just on the energy alone. But it's all about you bringing the energy to the crowd. It's all about you working the crowd. When you're on stage, you're the captain of the ship. You know, you're telling everybody, okay, I'm here to bring you a good time. You know, and that's basically what you have to do. If you get up on stage and act like a big honcho and you get up there and you mess up and you're messing and, you know, beats are off and people notice that. Club owners and stuff like that, promoters, they're in the back, but they notice that.
Gotcha.
They can hear that. You know, so when you're messing up and not doing it right, crowd might still be hyped, but they pay attention. Like, okay, that transition wasn't so hype. You know, I mean, everyone has their own way of transitioning songs, and I mean, it's very important, but you know, it's okay to get away with stuff, but if you feel like you can't transition to a song right, there's effects on it. They're not there for nothing. You know, they're there to transition from different tempos to different, you know, BPMs to do whatever you want. However you want to use it. So much creativity on mixing.
You DJ, you produce, you play the guitar.
Yeah.
You're also an artist.
Yeah. As far as like the artist side, you know, I used to rap, but I songwrite. You know, I songwrite and I engineer some. You know, but mainly it's just production.
Gotcha.
You know, as far as DJing go, when you're a DJ and you produce your own stuff and whatnot, you are considered an artist.
Exactly.
Such as, you know, David Guetta featuring C.
Exactly.
You know, it's
because
just
you're
like,
bringing an element to the music that wasn't there before. So
exactly.
You're an artist.
You know, and I mean, you know, I've worked with, you know, FKI, you know, DJ Spins, Sonny Digital.
Talk about those relationships real quick. How'd you link up with FKI? Talk about how you linked up with Spins, and talk about Sonny Digital.
Okay. A good guy I met through a reference. His name is Cali Ink. Dope tattoo artist. He's done some ink on me. You know, he's a real down to earth dude. You know, real genuine, and he keeps it 100 regardless. I met him and another artist named goes by the name of Fatbacks. And meeting those guys, and Dorsey, and meeting those guys, they believed in me and they've helped me, you know, put me into positions. You know, because they tattoo people like Waka Flocka, they tattoo people like, you know, all kind of artists. Basketball players, you know, football players, whatever. And I mean, that's what Cali's done. You know, but we would go to studio sessions and, you know, Cali would be like, Linz, look. Spins want to work, man. Y'all need to work. So, of course, you know, of course I know who DJ Spins is, you know. I knew him from the whole 2 Chainz, you know, True Religion, all that stuff. So, you know, of course I was dope. I was hyped to meet, you know, Spins, you know. Right. So that was dope, you know. And then, you know, we went to Dark Studios. You know, that was Austin Old Studio or whatnot. And, you know, met Spins, real down to earth dude. Solid, cool person, you know. He was like, "Alright, man, nice to meet you, bro. You know, let me hear what you got." Played him some of my EDM stuff. He was like, "Whoa," you know, like, "Yo, like, you got some shit." So like, that made me feel good. You know, and then going into sessions with him and Cash Out and just being there and playing beats and stuff, this was like, just getting different vibes. I played Cash Out, you know, a couple EDM records, and he was like, "These joints crazy," you know. And I mean, I heard some unreleased records from Cash Out. It was just dope. And the same thing goes, you know, Cali also introduced me to Sonny Digital and FKI. And you know, meeting with Sonny Digital, you know, mad dope dude, you know, cool dude. You know, he, like, we played each other records back and forth, like, a whole day. We were just coming up with so many different ideas. It was just real cool, you know. And the homie, Q, at the time, you know, he had the Bobby Johnson record.
Okay, yeah.
OG Bobby Johnson record.
Mm-hmm.
He came through, and, you know, like, you know, it was just real tight. You know, it was just real good vibes, you know. He had his German Shepherd and stuff. And, you know, everybody was just working on music producing and stuff. And it was just a good vibe, you know. Just good times. When I met FK Guy, you know, going into the studio with them was completely different. You know, they had a whole different vibe, you know, whole different element. You know what I'm saying? Working with First is like, we just had a connection, man, on music. You know, it was just like epic. You know, his vision was completely out of the ordinary, just like my vision was out of the ordinary. You know what I'm saying? And like, we just connected and locked on music, you know. And he was like, bro, your shit is crazy, you know. And I was just like, appreciate that, man. You know, like, I appreciate that. You know, coming from somebody like that, who's produced Travis Porter, Make It Rain, like, you know, like, Bring It Back, like, all those crazy records, man, like, just like, wow. You know, and they working with artists, huge artists, and just like, whoa. And, you know, working with Rich and all of them, and they getting on my records and stuff, and it's crazy, man. And not just regular records, you know. And then, you know, me and First, we've been working on some crazy hybrid trap records with, you know, hard drops, build-ups, and then heavy parts to rap on. You know, we got OG Mako on one. And it's like, you know, he just turned up on it, and, you know, just madness, you know. And I did like some remixes, and, you know, I produced a record for K Camp. It's called Alarm Clock.
Okay. Is it already out?
I think it's out on a mixtape.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if it's gonna be out anywhere else. And that's some of the, like, he spit some hard ass shit on that.
How was working with K Camp?
Well, honestly, I mean, I've only seen K Camp at like a few events, and, you know, it wasn't like, you know, something like we chopped it up a whole bunch and just like that. But my homie C. Ryan, who's like a dope, you know, videographer, photographer guy, he plugged me in with him. He was like, yo, this Camp number, though, like, yo, hit him up, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, get him some production, yo. You know, I told him about you, he expecting your call Camp, and I was like, yo, you know, I got some beats. He's like, all right, cool, send me some beats over. So I sent him some joints. He picked like two out of the batch, and then, you know, he made a joint called Alarm Clock, and I mean, that shit was rocking, you know. And I was like, that's dope, you know what I'm saying? They want like no EDM, it's just a hard ass beat. Right. He just went in on that shit, and like, that was just epic, you know what I'm saying? And then, like, you know, I did a trap EDM remix to his track produced by Big Fruit called Money Baby. And I did my own remix to it.
That was his first, like, number one, right?
Yeah, I did my own trap EDM remix to it. He was like, yo, that shit's dope, you know, because the homie Cali I was telling you about earlier, you know, he showed it to him, and, you know, and it was just, you know, it was just really tight. Then I did a remix to Cap One record Reckless, and that shit turned up. And, you know, and Cap, he heard that joint too, and he was like, yo, this shit fire.
Man,
cause, you know, and like, you know, Cap is like, he the type of nigga, like, his style is so uncanny and so hard, and his beat selection is bananas.
Right, cause he can get
like,
anything,
you know, like,
go.
I would love to just produce an original record from Cap and just turn up on that shit one time. You know, shout out to Cap, shout out to Street Exec, shout out everybody, dog, all of them, man, because they all killing it. You know what I'm saying? High respect for them. Right. You know what I'm saying? And like, just to, you know, being the president of people like that, you know, has really, you know, inspired me to go harder, and, you know, just really influenced me as a up and coming producer DJ, you know, to like just push harder. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, now, you know, I've actually, as far as EDM, I've had releases, you know, on EDM.com, which is like a huge network. Mm-hmm. You know, that's like in urban music, it's like the double XL complex.
How'd you get in there?
Like, basically a good friend of mine and, you know, a person that I work with, his name's Greg Ashburn, really good, solid guy. You know, Block Society, all of those dudes, solid people. You know, he actually picked up this really huge dubstep artist named Downlink. And he had a CD in his deck. He was playing records. And at that time, I had a record called Destiny I produced. You know,
Destiny.
It's called Destiny, you know. And he was playing it. And Downlink was like, what's that? And Greg was like, oh, this one of my artists is, you know, a track, you know, it's called Destiny. He's like, I want that. So Greg gave him the CD, along with some other records, you know, I think like the Homie Hypnotic, you know, a whole bunch of other cats on the squad was on it. And he hit Greg back and was like, yo, we want to do an official release for Linz Prag, you know, under Uplink Audio, which is a really big deal, you know, and getting that released on there and getting royalties from that and, you know, getting it on places and getting tons of plays, and, you know, it would just put me on a different platform, you know, as far as the EDM, you know, scene goes. And, like, you know, it released through iTunes and Amazon, and they did all that, you know, and I mean, it really catapulted me into more of a better position, you know.
Absolutely,
and that made
graduated to another level, basically. You know
exactly, and it just made people look like, okay, whoa, okay, this kid, you know, okay, he's not playing. Like, you know, we need to recognize what real is real.
Okay.
And, you know, me being, you know who I am, you know, I just come with so many different uncanny, you know, music. Some people have negative comments like, why is this in dubstep? This is trap. Or, why is this? What is this? Like, they don't know how to accept it because it's so abrasive. I make abrasive music, you know, and I can give two fucks if, you know, if it comes out wild, but it's just my mind. And what's in my mind, I'm going to put down. You know, and, you know, people are going to either love it or hate it. It's just one or two. You know, there is no in between.
Right.
You know, so, like, that's how I feel about it. And, you know, I take all of these different genres and blend them and mesh them and make it into my own mold, and I just make them into my own sound. And I just got a message just to, you know, bring to people, to just let people know that I am not the type of person that just makes music just to make music because I know how to make music. I make music because I've been through a lot of shit. You know, growing up with a single mother, you know, not seeing my father. You know, I was actually really good in sports. You know, I was good at playing basketball, wide receiver on the high school team, JV to varsity, you know, and I could probably been to college or whatever playing football, basketball. But I said, but my father wasn't in the picture. So as a young African American / Dominican, coming up like that just made me like not want to do that. Sports, you want to impress. It's a manly thing.
Right.
You want to impress your father figure. You want to show dominance.
Real.
You know, you want to have a dominant figure.
That's real.
To help you and to like show you and push you. You know, yeah, my grandfather was there, but all I had was my mom. You know, and she was working a lot, trying to make ends meet and shit. And you know, this is some real shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, just having to deal with a whole bunch of nonsense, you know. And so that just made me be like, well, damn. My dad's sending me Gore-Tex boots and he's sending me goose down jackets from Jersey and Jordans and shit. And promising me he gonna come to my game, but ain't nowhere to be found. You know, so you can take the materialistic shit, you can go ahead with that.
Yeah.
I ain't want it.
Right.
You know, I ain't want it. You know, I'm talking about boxes of Timberlands, like brand new. Jordans, brand new. You know, jackets, brand new. I ain't even wearing that. I'm still wearing my Gap shit. You know, I'm still wearing, you know, whatever, you know, that my mom got me and whatnot. You know, because it was a statement. You know, I'm not gonna wear that stuff because you wanna, you know, shower me in gifts because you couldn't show up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But then, you know, when my father passed away, it just struck a chord with me because it was like, damn, I never really got the chance to show him that I'm just as much of a man that he is, if not better. You know, because of what he was doing, and how his sense and judgment was cowardly. You know what I'm saying? For not showing up when it needed, when it was needed most. You know what I'm saying? And that was like shit that really struck a chord with me, and that's why I speak through my music a lot. You know, that's why it's so abrasive and aggressive, because it's anger, and it's just, you know, so much, you know, creativity and structure in it. It goes from nice to okay to all right. And I'm not saying that in the standpoint of quality, I'm saying that to how everything builds up.
Right.
You know, because it doesn't matter what it is. You can be in a relationship, it can be good, but then that shit can build up to something better, such as marriage, you know, such as having kids, raising a family. That's how shit can progress. You know, that's how I treat my music, you know, as progression. You know, and each song, every song ain't gonna be hot. That's just what every artist. Every artist ain't gonna have hot shit consistently.
Right.
Everybody got their dry spots.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm never expecting all my shit to be dope. You know, of course, people could be like, "Yo, Linz, you came hard on the last one. On the next one,
I don't like this
can,
one right here."
You know,
man.
I think you could come harder on that.
Right.
I might shy away from it sometime because I might feel like it's dope as hell, but then they might be like, and the only reason I would feel like that is because I feel I put a lot of work in. But at the same time, I respect their opinion because they being honest and they being real. And they not being fabricated and being like, oh yeah, and they not being yes men and telling me, yeah dude, this is tight, that's dope, you should put that out. And then me putting it out and then the public being like, well, what the hell is this? Mm-hmm. You know, so stopping me before I do it.
Right.
You know, and presenting new strategies. And you know, and that's when my manager Marley comes in. He comes in, you know, with so much character and dynamic. And you know, I've only known him for about not even a full year. Yeah. And for what we've done thus far has been monumental and vital. And it's important, even with Black society, it's important to have unity with each other. It's important to bring the masses together and actually work and actually make a push. You know, it's all about, you know, who you know and it's not what you know. Because what I have, if someone took me to somewhere huge, like a label or something, they're going to be like, okay, all right, here's $6 million. This is what we want you to do. We're going to sign you. Nah. We ain't going to do it like that. Of course, we not going to do it like that. We going to do this shit the right way. And that's where Marley's, you know, intelligence and his uncanniness comes into play. He brings a savviness and just like, you know, it's just so suave. You know, it's just like a blink of an eye. It's just like
as it should be.
A bullet train just, you know what I'm saying? Before you blink your eyes, something's already going on.
Gotcha.
And, you know, a lot of the places around Atlanta, you know, I performed at a lot of venues. You know, and you know, some people that have been DJing for years haven't even had the opportunity to play them.
Give me those places.
I performed at Terminal West. You know, I was an opener for Fatbacks.
Okay.
You know, I performed at Opera. You know, I played Iris. I've played at a few lounges, Cream Lounge. I did that for Erica Mena and Natalia Rich, her CD release party. I performed at Iris, a spot that they changed to Legacy, but at the time it was called Quad. I performed there. You know, I've done, you know, there's quite. I haven't done any strip clubs. People always want me to do strip clubs, you know, but I'm like, you know, stuff I make, it isn't really, you know, I can't see no women sliding up and down the pole and some crazy shit. Me looking up to Kanye and Timberland, I'm not talking about 2013, 14, 15 Kanye. I'm talking about 2001, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2006 Kanye. Now, people put Kanye into a box and they scrutinize him so much because of the shit that he's been through. And I just don't understand why people he gets ignorant sometimes. And yeah, he's came at people sometimes because, I mean, You know, he's dealt with a lot. The loss of his mother. I mean, who wouldn't feel like that and being under the spotlight 24/7? I mean, who wouldn't feel in a way, you know? So in no shape or form do I blame the man for how he's acted. You know, I mean, yeah, there's other ways you could have went about it, but I mean, that's just the way he chose. Mm-hmm. But as far as creativity, I respect Kanye on the highest level. His creativity, you know, is just genius. You know, it's sleek, it's sheer. You know, I just enjoy it to the highest power. You know, and same for Timberland. Timberland, he's recluse. You're not gonna see him all out in the open like that because he low key. He don't gotta say a word. His music speak for him beyond belief. We all know that from Aaliyah. Yep. We all know that from Missy. Yep. Like, we all know that. That man ain't got to do nothing. He ain't got to say not a word. We all know that through Empire. Don't got to do nothing. It just shows how power just, you know, rules. You know, and that's one thing that he's done. And as far as, you know, growing up and coming up with them and, you know, understanding their music and respecting it, I looked up to them because of, you know, their positivity and their messages and how they came up. And I feel like, you know, my message would be to someone up and coming, you know, that's, you know, young and trying to come up is to don't give up, you know, don't give up on your dream. You know, as cliche as that sounds, keep pushing. I came from a single mother, you know what I'm saying? A lot of kids coming from single mothers or single fathers these days. You know, and that's something that, you know, is really hard in the world today. You know, I mean, racism is I mean, come on. We're not going to get there, but you know how it is these days. And I mean, you know, if you're a young black man striving to do better, you know, it's harder these days. You know, and you have to find your lane. Find your path and find your lane and what it is you want to do to better yourself. And do what makes you happy. You know, just do what makes you happy. That's all I can say. You know, because if you're doing something that someone else is telling you to do that you should be doing, like, you should be working a 9-to-5. You should be going to college. I'm not saying college is bad. Right. You know, I went to community college for 2 years. Mm-hmm. I didn't have a problem with it. Right. Doing what you got to do. Everyone's listening because they got parents, or they might have rich parents, and they might have these people. They might want to be a DJ. They might want to be an artist. They might want to move to New York in a loft or something, or they might want to feel the struggle so they can get better. Right. You don't just come out. You don't just come out in the Paris Hilton world. Mm-hmm. You know, you don't just come out with money and just think you can just do anything you want. Mm-hmm. You know, and everyone just has their own mindset. And with that being said, you know, I just want everyone to know that I'm still this small little speck in this big ass fucking world trying to make something of myself. You know, I have a message delivered just like everyone else has had a message delivered that's in the industry, that's doing what they gotta do. You know, and I'm trying to do the same thing. And, you know, with that said, you know, I'm Linz Prag, and you can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. It's all the same. LINZPRAG. And there you have it. I appreciate Hip Hop-ish, and I appreciate everybody watching and just sharing this time with me and me getting the opportunity to get this interview. So big up to everybody. Big up to Atlanta, Virginia, Charlottesville, Black Society, Takeover Management, everybody, man. Y'all know what's up.
Peace.